Welcome to the Odyssey Sports Fantasy Football Show. I'm Chris Emma alongside Jordan Cohn and Jesse Pantuosco. We're going to be doing this every week, giving you the waiver wire pickups, who you need to be keeping your eye out for. But it's a brand new season, boys. Everybody's 0-0. Let's get right to it. All right, so we're going to be covering the fades, the sleepers, and the breakout players of this season. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start with my fade player, and it is DeAndre Swift of the Detroit Lions. I just don't have much faith in that offense with Jared Goff teaming up in Detroit with a group that looks like it's going to be one of the worst teams in the league, if we're being honest. And then Swift, right away, before we even get into week one, has a core muscle injury that's popping up, something that could hamper him in the early part of the season. Even without the injury, I don't have a lot of faith in DeAndre Swift. Jordan, who's your guy? Who's your fade?
I'm going to go with a wide receiver who I actually like overall, but I just don't love him at his ADP, and that's Robert Woods of the Los Angeles Rams. I actually think that his playing style meshed better with Jared Goff, and though I think the whole offense is going to improve under Matt Stafford, I'm not sold that Woods is going to have a massive bump up in production. I actually think that Cooper Kupp is going to be the largest beneficiary because Stafford is predisposed to throwing over the middle. That's kind of where Kupp makes his living on the football field. And I also see that Woods had a pretty high touchdown total last year, and I think that might be his cap, his ceiling. I'm just not sure that his ceiling is as exciting as Cooper Kupp, as well as some other wide receivers who he's being drafted around, like Amari Cooper and Chris Godwin, who are in high-powered, throwing capacity offenses. So I'm not sold on Woods at his current ADP.
All right, I like that. I'm with you on that one. Jesse, who's your fade player?
Well, this might be a little controversial, but I'm going to be fading Kyle Pitts at his current fourth-round ADP. I get the hype. He is an absolute stud. Pitts led all FBS tight ends in both touchdowns and receiving yards last year at Florida. I also think the Falcons were pretty smart to limit his exposure this summer, only having him appear in just the one preseason game. But the fact is, rookie tight ends have historically disappointed in fantasy. Pat Doherty of NBC Sports tweeted the other day that only 35 tight ends have ever reached 500 yards in their rookie year. Only Mike Ditka in 1961 went over 1,000 yards. The last to even reach 800, which Vegas set as Pitts over-under, was Jeremy Shockey back in 2002. I know there's opportunity for Pitts in a pass-heavy offense and without Julio Jones, but history is not on his side.
I was not expecting that one, but I'm interested to see how this one plays out. He's somebody who seems to have kind of that those freakish talents on one hand, but you said it on the other hand, rookie tight ends, it's not a great track record. So that's one to follow. Let's talk about some sleepers in this draft here. And I can't believe I'm going with a Chicago Bear, but I am. Darnell Mooney, a guy who I think is going to get a higher volume this season. 61 catches last season. Doesn't matter if it's Andy Dalton or Justin Fields at quarterback. I think Darnell Mooney is going to be getting the football. He's put in a lot of work this offseason, working on his route running, trying to get some more explosive plays into the arsenal. And this is a guy who has a jugs machine in his apartment. So I'm willing to take a chance on him being that kind of sleeper player. I would take a chance on Darnell Mooney late in this draft. I think he's going to reward you. Jordan, who's your sleeper pick?
I really like that pick as well. I'm going to go with the division rival, though, a rookie wide receiver in the NFC North, and that is Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that we're not huge fans of the Lions offense this year, but I mean, someone's got to catch the ball. They just cut Rashad Perriman, and he's going to be competing with Tyrell Williams and Quintez Cephas this season. Neither of those names really scare me. Williams, he didn't play all of last year. He's older. He also relies a lot on the deep ball, which isn't really Jared Goff's strong suit. So I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. You might not even have to spend a draft pick on him. And someone has got to catch passes. I'm just relying on the fact that there will be targets available. There will be opportunities for St. Brown to impress. He looked pretty good in the preseason, establishing his rapport with Goff. So I'm pretty excited to see if he can, impress and become a popular waiver wire pickup early in the season.
I said it before. I'm curious about how that Detroit offense is going to move the football and what kind of rhythm they have. Don't have a lot of faith in Jared Goff being away from Sean McVay, but you said it. Somebody's got to catch the football. Maybe even late game and garbage time, he's going to be getting some of that volume. So I'm with you on that pick. Jesse, who's your sleeper?
Well, fantasy is, at the end of the day, about opportunity. And Jakobi Meyers saw plenty of volume last year, commanding a ridiculous 31.5% target share, third highest in the league over his final 10 games, which coincided with Julian Edelman's absence. With Edelman now retired, Meyers should inherit his role as New England's primary slot receiver. From week 8 on last year, Meyers was the wide receiver 20 in PPR leagues, which is pretty remarkable considering he didn't score a single touchdown during that span. With a little better touchdown luck, Meyers, who is currently being drafted as the wide receiver 55 on ESPN, could be in for a monster fantasy season.
Yeah, you can't ever bet against those Patriots. So I like that pick. It changed the tune a little bit from sleeper to who's going to be your breakout star. And I am going with Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. Might be an easy pick, but this guy went number 5 overall, 84 catches in 2019 with LSU, teamed up with Joe Burrow, 20 touchdowns that season in a college season. They brought him in to be that playmaker. They had an opportunity to look to that offensive line, which they probably should have done, frankly. But I think Jamar Chase is going to be that superstar type player, that rookie of the year candidate. I think he's going to have a monster season in Cincinnati, back with Burrow. Jordan, who's your breakout star?
Well, you went with the young rookie receiver. I'm going to go with someone who's been in the league for a little while, and I actually think he, experienced his breakout season in 2020. If it's possible to have a breakout after a breakout, then I think Corey Davis is the guy that's going to do it. He had 984 yards last year in only 14 games while sharing the field with Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown in Tennessee. No one on the New York Jets even comes within the same universe of talent as guys like Henry and A.J. Brown. I think he's going to be the clear-cut number 1 wideout. That's what he was signed to do. He is a rookie running back and practically a rookie wide receiver alongside him and Denzel Mims. Crowder won't really interfere with his role as, a big play threat. And I think Zach Wilson has a big arm. My bold prediction, and I don't even feel that bold saying it, is that Davis will surpass 1,000 yards in 2021. And I think you can get him at great value. His ADP is currently somewhere in the 10th or 11th round of drafts. And I really like that value for him.
Yeah, I love the way Zach Wilson can get rid of that football, throw off balance, make any kind of throw on the field. And Corey Davis is going to be the recipient of that. So, Jesse, who's your breakout player? Who are you watching?
I'm joining Chris here and taking another rookie out of LSU. Panthers rookie Terrace Marshall has breakout written all over him. It's easy to overlook Marshall in a crowded Panthers receiving corps featuring DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Christian McCaffrey, but his body of work speaks for itself. He's tested as an 82nd percentile athlete at this year's combine and, according to Matt Harmon's reception perception model, had an 88.2% success rate on contested catches in 2020. The year before that, Marshall caught 13 touchdowns as a sophomore on LSU's national championship team. That's significant because his position coach that year was Joe Brady, who is now the Panthers' offensive coordinator. I know there are a lot of mouths to feed in Carolina, and who knows what to expect from Sam Darnold, but as a late-round dart throw, I'm willing to bet on Marshall's talent.
This is the kind of insight you can get on the Honesty Sports Fantasy Football Show. We're going to be doing it every week. Like I said, it's a new season. We're ready. It's a blank slate. Everybody's 0-0. So I'm Chris Emma alongside Jordan Cohn and Jesse Pantuosco. We'll catch you next week.